Here I am in the Lamborghini mirror. Bass too loud, I can barely hear ya. Blasted off that afternoon ganja. Light another one, no I won't just stop ya. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. I'm sitting here in the visor mirror. Wipe that shit off so that I can see clearer. Run that shit up with a selfish demeanor. Blow that bitch up like I never seen her. Cash stacked up to the fan on the ceiling. No, you can't shake off that kind of feeling. Yeah, the king about to make a killing. Flying off the handle like my little boy Krillin. Here I am in the Lamborghini mirror. Bass too loud, I can barely hear ya. Blasted off that afternoon ganja. Light another one, no I won't just stop ya. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Faded off that green fire ganja. If you wanna get up and I won't stop ya. Hot box of shit out the Lamborghini mirror. Let me turn it down so that I can hear ya. Punch it to the floor and leave 'em sitting like a junker car with the tires missing. Oh shit, motherfucker, there goes a piston. On a journey like a NASA mission. Here I am in the Lamborghini mirror. Bass too loud, I can barely hear ya. Blasted off that afternoon ganja. Light another one, no I won't just stop ya. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah.
I've been out the scene from the darkness. It's the almighty motherfucker, you know it is. Slaughtering motherfuckers, making them not exist. I'm that evil devil looking from beyond the mist. You best be running fast as you can. You wanna full race with the fucking boogeyman. I'm not playing boy, now here's the plan. I'm here to indefinitely cut your lifespan. I've been out the scene with a Louis bag. Don't give a fuck about the price tag. Gonna keep a few of these extended legs. Gonna have to clean the ops with a kitchen rag. Taking them that bone like a garbage bag. Going in through the leaves, yeah, what a drag. Gonna reload the mag and jump again. I'm at to dump. Stack the racks to the ceiling. Can't imagine the feeling. Yeah, girl, what's I meaning? Yeah, I'm probably fiending. I've been out the scene from the darkness. It's the almighty motherfucker, you know it is. Slaughtering motherfuckers, making them not exist. I'm that evil devil lurking from beyond the mist. I've been out the scene from the darkness. It's the almighty motherfucker, you know it is. Slaughtering motherfuckers, making them not exist. I'm that evil devil lurking from beyond the mist. You best be running fast as you can. You wanna full race with the fucking boogeyman. I'm not playing boy, now he's the plan. I'm here to indefinitely cut your lifespan.
Stacking these racks to the ceiling, you can imagine the feeling. Bitch, I can't feel my face, yeah now, what's the meaning? This shit probably laced, but I don't give a fuck now, I'm fiending. I pop a few tic tacs, so I doze off. I think my wrist froze off. Iceberg on the Titanic, bitch, don't be acting all dramatic.
I've been out the scene from the darkness. It's the almighty motherfucker, you know it is. Some motherfuckers making them not exist. I'm that evil devil lurking from beyond the mist. You best be running fast as you can. You wanna go to race with the fucking boogeyman. I'm not playing boy, now it's a plan. I'm here to indefinitely cut your lifespan. Now he's second guessing whether you should have a weapon. When you walk into the crib, step in. He gon' need a lethal weapon. Need a lethal weapon. Yeah, yeah. Gonna need a lethal weapon. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Today, we are going to be redoing a song that I made a long time ago. That on the channel is called Dearly Departed. It needs a fucking redo so badly because the hook is terrible, but the rest of the song is golden. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So let me just play it for all you guys that are not familiar. See that part I don't like? Sliver in my finger or something. It's alright though. This verse is crazy. I like this one. You fucked with the wrong motherfucker. You messing with that real Steve Tucker. The insane manicure rupture. I'm that real twin skull crusher. Popping heads under my size 12. Get a trophy decoration up on the shelf. Heads up displayed, see for yourself. Blood still dripping, making a messy deal. Don't look too long, it'll make you ill. Make you want to take another pill. Don't be jittery, you gotta stay still. Acting like you bloodthirsty and need a kill. Sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down, yeah.
See, like, I don't like how that ends. It just sounds so bad. So we're gonna go through this and fix everything, basically. Like, just kind of Frankenstein shit together.
Part over here,
those lines are great, actually.
You fucked with the wrong motherfucker. You messing with that real steel. Coming through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down. Yeah, let's get this started. Dearly departed, heart over here, heart over there, part over here, part over there. Now there's blood coming through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down. Yeah, let's get this started. Dearly departed, heart over here, heart over there, part over here, part over there. Now there's blood every motherfucking where, and their faces stuck with a stoic stare, blowing ganja smoke up into the air, running they buckets without a fucking care. I'm just looking out for my derriere. If the cops coming, I got the steel tucked, AK-47 banana buck. What you gonna do? Part over here, part over there. Now there's blood every motherfucking where, and their faces stuck with a stoic stare, blowing ganja smoke up into the air, running they buckets without a fucking care. I'm just looking out for my derriere. If the cops coming, I got the steel tucked, AK-47 banana buck. What you gonna do? Coming through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down. Yeah, let's get this started.
Figured it out. This part is really off. I think it might be just a little late. See what that.
Down, yeah,
I did not mean to fucking do that, dude. Come on. Huh.
Let's get this started. Dearly departed, part over here, part over there. Let's get this started. About to chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get this started. Dearly departed, part over here, part over there. Let's get this started. Dearly departed, part over here, part over there. Sorted in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get this started. Dearly departed, part over here, part over there.
Hmm. Hmm. This is not lined up, is it? It's not. That's why it sounds weird right there. I just fucking spotted that shit. Hold on, chat. Yeah, that's way off. What the fuck is going on right here? Look how far off that is, chat. That sounds way better. I can just tell you that right now. What the fuck was I doing with that?
About to chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get this started. Dearly departed, part over here, part over there.
All right, let's see what this whole shit listens like.
Coming through the crowd, sorted.
Okay, I'm gonna try and record a little bit. We'll see what happens. What you gonna do? Looking right here.
Coming through the crowd.
Fuck that up. I can tell you that right now. That was a fuck up. Jesus. What you gonna do? Coming through the crowd. Sorry. About to chop a motherfucker down, yeah.
Let's get this started.
Actually, let's just record that one part that I don't like that much. What you gonna do? Looking right at you. Coming through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get this started, dearly departed, heart over here and heart over there.
Part over here, part
Come on, don't do this shit to me right now, BandLab. There it is.
fucker down, yeah. Let's get this started, dearly departed, heart over here and heart over there. Part over here, part over there. Now there's blood every motherfucking where. In their faces stuck with a stoic stare. Blowing ganja smoke up into the air. Running the buckets without a fucking care. I'm just looking out for my derriere. If the cops coming, I got the steel tucked. AK-47 banana buck. What you gonna do? Chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get this started, dearly departed, heart over here and heart over there. Part over here, part over there. Now there's blood every motherfucking where. In their faces stuck with a stoic stare. Blowing ganja smoke up into the air. Running the buckets without a fucking care. I'm just looking out for my derriere. If the cops coming, I got the steel tucked. About to chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get this started, dearly departed, heart over here and heart over there. Part over here, part over there. Now there's blood every motherfucking where. In their faces stuck with a stoic stare. Blowing ganja smoke up into the air. Running the buckets without a fucking care. Running through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down, yeah.
I fucked that up by hitting the microphone. Fuck me.
Running through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down, yeah. Let's get coming through the crowd, sword in hand, about to chop a motherfucker down, yeah.
I don't really like that either. Yo, what's up, Andy? I was trying to redo this song, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it done because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just hard to do. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's good? By the way, stream is a little bit laggy when it comes to the end of the people that are watching. So if it takes me a minute to recognize your comment, it's because it's a little bit delayed. Because if I try to do it like immediate, my internet isn't the greatest when it comes to Wi-Fi. Right now, I'm trying to figure out a way to get it to where it's a wired connection instead of Wi-Fi connection. So my apologies if the responses are a little slow. Just gonna put that out there. So you know how it is. And Miss Andy, you can see me in all my beautiful glory now. Hello. Shit. You want to see something crazy, Andy? You want to see some crazy shit? Watch how fucking skinny I am, dude. This is crazy. YouTube, this is not to be trying to be sexual. This is purely for show off purposes. So don't take this as me trying to be weird and shit. Oh yeah, baby. Almost got the six-pack coming in. You can see it a little bit right here. So it's almost there. It's almost there. I'm almost to the six-pack, but not quite. I'm almost there, though. Almost there. Okay? I can make my titties jiggle, though. You can see that underneath the shirt. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, baby. But, Andy, I also wanted to show you the new song, my friending. The new song. Well, technically it's an old song, but I refurbished it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like half new, half old type action. You know what I'm saying? I'll play it for you. We are also probably going to get a little litty, Andy. I don't know if you still partake in the good old good, but I still do. Show you what? Show you what? Show what? What are we showing? You want the weight loss? The crazy ass weight loss journey I've had? Is that what you're wanting to see? Or are you talking about the other stuff? My little karambit, my mini karambit I got from a friend. Pretty sick. My little talon. I call it my talon. You can hold it kind of like this, just by that little deal right there. Put your thumb on the back of it. Oh yeah, boy. Talk about it. Got CSGO in my blood, boy. Oh shit. I need to be careful with this fucking thing. I'm gonna cut myself. Put that shit away. Show you what, Andy? I don't know what you was talking about. I don't know what you were wanting me to show you. I got two chats open, one down here, and one over here. So if you see me looking over here a lot, it's because I have the chat over here. And I also have a chat down here, so I like look down to make sure that maybe this one didn't get that one, or this one didn't get that one. You know, like it's. I have two different chats open just for that pure reason, like literally. What did you miss? What did we miss that we wanted to see, Andy? Type it out in chat, baby girl. Come on now. Get to it. Get to it, boy. I want to see what you got to say. In the meantime, I'm going to play the new / old song. Maybe that's what you was wanting to hear. Or see. I don't know. I'll let you guys see it. Listen to this shit. This shit goes hard as fuck.
Here I am in the Lamborghini mirror. Bass too loud, I can barely hear ya. Blasted off that afternoon ganja. Light another one, no I won't just stop ya. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Sitting here in the visor mirror. Wipe that shit off so that I can see clearer. Run that shit up with a selfish demeanor. Pull that bitch up like I've never seen her. Cash stacked up to the fan on the ceiling. No, you can't shake off that kind of feeling. Yeah, the king about to make a killing. Flying off the handle like my little boy Krillin. Here I am in the Lamborghini mirror. Bass too loud, I can barely hear ya. Blasted off that afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Light another one, no I won't just stop ya. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Baby, off that green fire ganja. If you wanna get out, then I won't stop ya. Hot box of shit off the Lamborghini Miura. Let me turn it down so that I can hear ya. Punch it to the floor and leave.
This part right here is my favorite.
With the tires missing. Oh shit, motherfucker, there goes a piston. On a journey like a NASA mission. Here I am in the Lamborghini Miura. Bass too loud, I can barely hear ya. Blasted off that afternoon ganja. Light another one, no I won't just stop ya. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah. Roll another sticky. Roll another sticky, yeah.
Yes, sir. What do we think about that one, Andy? What do we think about that one? You think that one's gonna be popular with the peoples? Think that's gonna be a popular one with the peoples? You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, it's me. Twice. What? What? I'm just kidding. But yeah, we got a lot of new shit. Battlefield's pretty good. I like it. I like Battlefield. This is probably one of my favorites. You know?
As I walk across the motherfucking battlefield, walking over bodies of the motherfuckers I killed. Broadsword toting, their blood is golden. Every inch of the blade from how many I've slain. Man, show respect. What did you expect? I'm the king in this bitch, you fucking reject. You're gonna be begging for your fucking life, and I'll be taking it from you with my knife. You're gonna be my sacrificial lamb tonight.
Damn.
Fuck around and make you out of sight and out of mind. Take out my knife and I'll make you blind. Gouging out both your eyes with all my might. It's only expected from the holy night. Taking out the sword and cut off your head. The only way I like you is if you're dead. Stepping closer, stepping up, yeah, stepping closer.
Yes, sir.
Stepping up, yeah, stepping closer. As I walk across the motherfucking battlefield, walking over bodies of the motherfuckers I killed. Broadsword toting,
shit. That's a stogie, boys. That's a fucking stogie. It's not very expensive, by the way. It's a really cheap Monte Cristo. Let's light this bitch up. Fuck it, right? We mob Boston. We fucking big stepping right now. Big stepping. Big stepper to a whole nother domain. Got it. You know what I'm saying? Big stepper through a whole nother domain. Got it. Out the bottom, yeah. Only pussies don't inhale. You're a pussy if you don't inhale. You're a pussy for certain. I'll show you another one that I like a lot. It's called Top Floor. I'll show you what it looked like. It is lit, right? It is lit. This is the cover art, everything.
Grace.
Nah, TikTok likes to take me down. My music's on Spotify though. I'm putting that out though, because that's a little harsh. Not very enjoyable without anybody here to join it. Enjoy it with, I should say. I usually only smoke cigars when I have my friend Jake over, because he's like, me and him are like cigar bros, you know what I'm saying?
One motherfucker had something in their pockets. All I hear is a 9mm. So I'm busting out the door, got the Rari next door. The Bacardi is ready to pour from a party on the top floor. Busting out the door, got the Rari next door. The Bacardi is ready to pour from a party on the top floor. I'm gonna drink this bottle to the bottom. Burning out.
Yes, it is the same on all platforms.
Hello Houston, we have a problem. Some motherfucker said smoke 'em if you got 'em. So I started spinning in a circle like I was fucking high off a purple. Mixed with a little bit of that herbal. Smoke so much that I'm non-verbal.
It'll be a picture of me with a balaclava on. Oh, you guys want to hear a funny ass song, actually? Y'all want to hear a funny ass song? This shit was supposed to be memey as fuck, and a lot of people thought it was like a for serious song. It was supposed to be for the memes. Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. So, Wishing For You. This song is not on Spotify, but I want to post it so bad because it's just funny. Yeah, for certain. Blow out all that nasty goobery shit out of this bitch. All that charcoal, you know what I'm saying?
If I rub the Lamborghini pops up, then I'm wishing for you. Then next time wishing for a rose to cruise the avenue. Sitting here waiting for my last wish, thinking of what I'm gonna do. Shawty throw that ass back, let me hear it clap, I'm just waiting for you. Girl, I've been waiting for this moment, so just throw it back on me. Don't need a college education, girl, you can get this dick for free. So that girl started grinding on it like she started sliding on it like she was just riding on it like a cowgirl. She was bucking on it. So I took her.
This is the, one second, let me go to my, this is the one I listened to the other day, maybe. This one's funny as fuck, I like this one.
I'm the only one who does it right.
Last Nug.
If I rub the Lamborghini,
Gotta go to the store tomorrow.
then I'm wishing for you. Then next time wishing for a rose to cruise the avenue. Sitting here waiting for my last wish, thinking of what I'm gonna do. Shawty throw that ass back, let me hear it clap, I'm just waiting for you. Yeah. Ha! Yeah. Make that ass clap. Make it clap.
I like how I had that, ooh, and it was, oh shit. I'm not even high yet, and I'm already starting to get crazy in this bitch.
This bitch nasty, stroking that fastly, finished on her face,
Pornhub wanna cast me.
Gotta take a blue pill just to outlast me. You nutted in this bitch, better have a plan B. If I rub the Lamborghini pops up, then I'm wishing for you. Then next time wishing for a rose to cruise the avenue.
So this is the song I'm redoing right here. As you can see, it's called Dearly Departed. It's the same song, literally the same song. I'm just trying to redo it for Spotify. So little PSA to all the people out there listening to the Spotify. You can go to this YouTube channel. You see a lot more music. Just saying. This is the part I don't like. The verses are crazy though. I love the verses. Yo, thanks. I appreciate that. Listen to this verse right here. Wait for it. Right here. God damn, bro. Looking out for my derriere. If it's cop coming night, got that steel tucked. AK-47 blood and a buck. Cheers, my dears.
What you gonna do?
We're gonna pull up the big screen for this shit. Let's get this shit, y'all. Gotta pull out the chug jug, y'all. Chug jug.
Take another pill. Don't be jittery, you gotta stay still. Acting like you bloodthirsty, need a kill.
Actually, I got one that you might actually like, Andy. I got one that you might actually like a lot. So you go to my channel and you like kind of scroll down a little bit, right? Not very far. I'd say about a page. There's a song that I fucking love. I don't know why I like it so much. Actually, it might be a little bit further down. Where's it at? This song. Cupid's Quiver. Oh my fucking god. I made this song with a friend. We were on a fucking voice call on Discord. And my friend was like, hey man, let's just make a fuck around song. Because I made this really cool funk beat. Like not funk, like Phonk, Funk. Okay, there's a difference. One is like, the other one's like, fucking, you know, like fucking, you know, like a bunch of crazy shit in the background, you know what I mean? But he made this shit, and I was like, all of a sudden I was like, I got this, bro. Let me write for a minute. And I was like thinking about it, you know what I mean? And a lot of people are gonna say like, they're hear me outs, right? My biggest hear me out, Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. Biggest hear me out. Hear me out, bro. Smart woman. Well educated. I don't know what it is about smart women, but that shit. School field trip, call Miss Frizzle. I wanna be that boy that is used as her personal toy. Don't you come near us, I'll show you why they fear us. Not as many who tried to kill us. None have succeeded fighting against us. We're 10 deep if you're really that curious. And we're 10 toes down. I'm the flyest guy around. When we're 10 toes down, I'm the flyest guy. So I went and got Cupid and I stole his quiver. Then got drunk off stolen liquor. Stood on my head so it hit me quicker. Gotta get courage before I miss her. I just wanna be her mister. Yes sir, this song is fucking crazy. So Yucatan is a place in Mexico. It's a very beautiful city. I wanna be a man cause you're as pretty as Yucatan. It makes me wanna get a wedding band on that hand, yeah. They fear us cause we're so mysterious. And their intentions are all too clear to us. See, like this part is different than the beginning, you know what I mean? But then I add one of the first parts in right here. Let out a giggle, cooking them up, hear a little sizzle. I just want to be in the middle. Let me ask you a little riddle. How hot is it over on the griddle? School field trip, call Miss Frizzle. I want to be that boy that is used as her personal toy. Basically saying like, I want an excuse to have that bitch come over so she can fuck me. You know what I'm saying? There's succeeded fighting against us. We're 10 deep if you're really that curious. And we're 10 toes down. I'm the flyest guy around. When we're 10 toes down, I'm the flyest guy. So I went and got Cupid and I stole his quiver. Then got drunk off stolen liquor. Stood on my head so it hit me quicker. I'm just saying, this shit's catchy as fuck. And I don't wanna be sitting at home yet. I might actually like put Cupid's Quiver up on Valentine's Day. Like on its own little album. It went out on the Golden Door album, but I wanna redo it and make that shit fucking killer and post it for that's the main goal right now. What am I doing with this other fucking shit song? Guys, I've had a revelation. We're on the wrong song to make at this point in the year. Discard the changes on that because we'll come back to it later. Let me find it. We're going back in the archives, boys. Because I never really posted these in order. Some of them are out of order just because the way I wanted the story to be told. But we'll pull that up off to the side. And we'll keep listening to some music here. Just to, you know, have a little fun time before we get into the Why So Serious era. AKA the crazy shit. Captain's Daughter, I like this one. There is a part that I don't really like that much, but it's okay, with all things considered. I don't really make music like this.
Don't go.
Cause my instinct never fails. Straight rider acting like we're on rails. 5 meter, 5 speed, tearing up whales. Yes, sir. But we're unable. Mustang Dark Horse locked in the stable. Basically saying it's a Mustang. It's a wild horse. But it's a dark horse. Mustang Dark Horse. It's supposed to be a nod to the Ford Mustang Dark Horse, but also an actual horse. Gonna marry the captain's daughter. Find me a crew and sail a new charter. See what's over that horizon. Spitting those bars like Verizon. Your siren song, oh so enticing. That melody's so sweet, it's enchanting. Be out of my mind, but I'll treat you nice and kind. Sharpening my skill with the grind. Don't make you like you, it's hard to find. Pretty decent, right? Not saying it's the best song of all time, but it's alright. But that's pretty recent. I've never really done songs like that. And most of the time when I do, they don't turn out very well because I don't have like a very nice like carrying voice. I have more of like a from underneath ya voice. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to there's an old song I like a lot. It's very dear and near to me. Okay? If anybody said, if you were to go back and mimic an old song, which song would it be? If it was like just off of pure like, I want this energy in a new song, it's this song. Right? They're marching into town. In the video, you know what I mean? And then you see men start to come in. Right? And then you see a big ass chariot, and then the door flies off. Boom!
Bitch, don't talk or you'll go from the wall. No suit, no helmet, pure shot to your knob. Two legs like DMX with no pay. Two pieces in J's, walking around in my PJs. Pistol in the A's, MP5 on your blades. Got me thinking of the glory days, seeking Zephyr's 20 gauge. Got no ID, no age, got access to rampage. Killing demons like a mage, casting spells from a page. I'm back in the game.
Damn.
We can strike at the braid, bringing them in like a raid. How many perks can you take till you feel like a jade? And make the mistake when you fucking partake. Throwing caution to the wind, yeah, that bitch at the party. What the fuck they got in? What the fuck they got in? I guess that's a win when they cover up they sin from the motherfucking party.
Yes, sir. Basically saying like fucked up people that are like just like going up and getting awards like they deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real, Beyonce doesn't even deserve most of the awards she gets. I don't think really many people listen to Beyonce anymore. I'm gonna be real with you. Shit like that. Like, you had your time's over, step aside. Let the new people come in. But that's just me. You know what I mean? New music, guys. We need new music. We've been feeding off this old shit for way too long. It's time for the new stuff.
Brace.
You know what I mean? You're really old, not all the old, because there is some old that are actually still relevant and good. But
it's got your whole motherfucking crew running. You keep talking that stuff, just to what's in your blood. Hoping to get out without a scuff. But they loosen my cuffs. Tell that is cause I refuse to wear my earmuffs. I'm too tough. But you think that I'm dumb. But you the one out here sticking at your damn thumb. So hold up, I wanna see you post up. It's that motherfucker that was all tucked in bluff. So what? Over here too drunk, cause I drank too much of that damn duff. So hold up, I wanna see you love and take a few bucks off this goddamn twist up. Hold up, yeah, we twist it up and we pull it up, cause you know we stuck. Go in, can't stop tonight. Don't stop, no up. But we like we goddamn flame in this bitch, and we pop it on just like that motherfucking Molotov. I'm sipping codeine in my leaves, jumping. Let's get to moving or I'll get to spilling like a motherfucking brain, yeah, it's jumping and it's dripping at your skull, yeah, it's running. And you know it's just me and my 30mm cannons, you know it's dumping, and it's got your whole motherfucking crew running. Breaking on the scene, everyone sipping codeine, acting like they got their fiends, joking. Off the marijuana smoke, just rolling. After motherfucking dance, it's codeine. Like a goddamn diesel pulling. Wrong face, speaking of sin, hold it. So many motherfuckers in here won't know where to begin. There's no end. I'm sipping codeine in my leaves, jumping. Let's get to moving or I'll get to thumping. On your motherfucking brain, yeah, it's dumping. And it's dripping at your skull, yeah, it's running. Come skin, yeah, here they ain't coming. And you know it's just me and my 18. Kings, you know it's dumping. And it's got your whole motherfucking crew running.
Tell Yeet he better watch the fuck out. Tell Yeet he better watch the fuck out. I'm coming for his paycheck. I'm coming for his paycheck, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, bro. You way too out of my league for that shit. For real. For real. I ain't holding the candlestick to that motherfucker. But he a crazy motherfucker though. What's another good one that I thought was kind of good? Superman was decent. I like that one. This one's more of like a slow and nice song. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything super crazy. Writing our names on the bathroom stall, baby. Yeah. Writing our names. Writing our names on the bathroom stall, baby. Should I write a heart each you call, baby? I don't wanna see you, but maybe it's my sensory call, baby. If you need saving, I'm Superman with the lowest lane craving. But all this pressure has gotten to me. Now I'm the one who needs saving. But I don't want it. Get out of here, I'll hold it till I collapse from exhaustion. I don't see any other option. Run, go, run till you've lost it. Run till you collapse from exhaustion. Run, go, run till you've lost it. Run till you collapse from exhaustion. But I remember when we were girl, I remember when we were writing our names on the bathroom stall, baby. Should I write a heart at your call, baby? I don't wanna see you fall, baby. Like it's my sense if I recall, baby. I'm one call away if you need saving. I'm Superman with a Lois Lane craving. But all this pressure is concaving. Now I'm the one who needs saving. Come save me. Come save me. So crazy thing is all the songs that you hear on the what is it? Golden Door Mansion album were all dreams that I had that were connected in a weird way. So when I would have what I call my Golden Door Mansion dreams, I would basically be standing in this white room, right? And it wasn't like I was sleeping, it was like I was awake. You know what I mean? It was like I was in a different world. You know what I mean? Like I fell asleep and boom, I was there. I was like looking around, I was like, I could literally choose to look around. I was not like, oh, my dream's just playing out. Okay, this is how it goes, I guess. You know what I mean? I was choosing what was happening. I wasn't like in an out-of-body experience kind of thing. Fuck that, I'm not going to do that right now anyway. But, anyway, I was like fully conscious, like I was choosing to look around. Like I remember like literally vividly looking around like this, like I was awake. You know what I mean? White room, talking like so bright that you can't see very much. You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck? And there's no light in my room when I sleep. None whatsoever. So there's no reason for there to be light. You know what I mean? So obviously I'm like, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I went to sleep, didn't I? And I was like, the fuck is going on? And this little boy would walk out in this gray, like, cloak deal, right? It was a gray color. It wasn't like, you know, anything that I would consider bad. You know what I mean? It was like a lighter gray. He had a little hood on, right? The only reason why I knew it was a boy was because it sounded like a boy. You know what I mean? He was like a little boy. He's like, hello. I was like, hey, what's up? Who are you? You know what I mean? I was like, where's your mom? He's like, don't worry about that. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, is this a bad dream? Like, I remember saying that out loud, and he goes, no. He goes, in fact, this is a good dream. And I said, it's a good dream. Is it? He goes, yeah, come with me. And he grabs my hand. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like he grabbed my hand. Low key, it's weird. You You know what I mean? That's why I've told people about him and they think I'm crazy, right? But it felt like he was holding my hand. Pulls me through the wall and I'm like, whoa, 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 we're gonna hit the wall. He's like, no, we're not. You know, like, I'd close my eyes every time because I was waiting to get hit. You know what I mean? By the wall. And I didn't want my eyes open for that shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I'd open up my eyes and he'd go, haha, gotcha. He'd always do that every time. Haha, gotcha. We would walk up to the house. And all this shit happens differently each time because I remember a few different times where I asked him what his name was and he wouldn't answer me. And I was like, basically, you know, like trying to get information on what I could out of the dreams because I'd noticed I've been having them frequently and they would be changed somewhat in some way than the rest of the dreams that I was having. So it was like, you know, like a science thing for me. And when I woke up, I'd write that dream down. You know what I mean? I used to have that journal and I don't know where it went. But Superman was one of those, right? And it's like, in that dream, I was literally like Superman. You know what I mean? It was fucking weird. Like, there was a point in time in my dream where I see, like, this guy, like, cornering this lady in the alleyway. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, what if that was Lois Lane? You know what I mean? And I basically, like, fly down the alleyway and I grab him by his neck. You know what I mean? Because he's got, like, a knife out trying to hurt her. You know what I mean? And I basically slam him against the wall. And, you know, worst comes to worst. We'll just say that much because I do not like those people. And if I know it's a dream, which I knew it was, I was going to do whatever I felt necessary that man needed at the time. And let's just say that his windpipe went crunch and my hand went like this. But anyway, he drops to the ground. She's scared of me, right? And runs off. I'm like, wait, miss. And then, like, I kind of thought of it in my head. I was like, she just witnessed me crush that man's throat. You know what I mean? That's a normal reaction to anybody. What kind of dream is this? You know what I mean? Because most of the time, if I do something like that in a dream, if I look around, nobody bats an eyelash. You know what I mean? In a normal dream. But in this dream, people had a reaction. It fucking weirded me out in my own dream. You ever had that happen to you where you weird yourself out in your own dream? You're like, wow, these people have literally like emotions like a normal human. Like, this is normal human behavior. You know what I mean? And like, everything felt real to the point where it felt like I was dragged from my dream, right, spiritually, and put into a different body sometimes because I would look different. You know what I mean? I noticed that after a while, I would look a little bit different and a little bit more different as time progressed. And I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? It always, like, fucked with me in a way. You know what I mean? It gave me, like, a weird thing that it was like, wow, these people seem so fucking real that they're running from a dude that they just witnessed kill another guy. That's how real these people feel. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, in normal dreams, I'm sure in your dreams you probably had a similar situation where you do something really fucked up, no one has a reaction because you don't find it weird. You know what I mean? But that other person had a whole different personality than what I had in my head, which made me weirded out. Because most of the time your dreams will base yourself off of your own judgment, not their own. If you do have dreams where that happens, it might be like a revelation kind of dream. That's what my grandpa always said. He said, if you ever find that in your dreams somebody's not doing something that you would agree with, then you do something, and the people around you act like real people and they run off, he goes, that's a premonition. Listen to it. Right? So I was like, okay. You know what I mean? And I had the dream about Superman, right? Obviously, you know, crunch him. She runs off. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I was basically going to say, are you okay? You know what I mean? Just like, ma'am, are you okay? And I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? She's already running. And I'm like, well, that's nice. And I like fly, you know, not like up to her, but I'm flying behind her, right? And I just remember like thinking about it, like I was flying up high enough to where she couldn't see me. You know what I mean? Obviously, if she turned around in a circle, she wouldn't see me, but if she looked up, she would see me. You know what I mean? I'm like looking down at her. I'm like, I just want to see what she does. You know what I mean? Because I was curious on where she's going when she runs away. Right? So I remember vividly, she runs down the alley that she's in, right? And she takes a right. You know what I mean? I remember that in my dream. Like, thinking she goes right down the street. I lose sight of her. I'm like, God damn it. I just wanted to go, ask her if she's okay, if he has anything on him that's hers or something like that. I can give it back to her. You know what I mean? Take me 5 seconds to fly over there. Not even that sometimes. You know what I mean? So, I fly over top of her and I'm like thinking about it in my head. I'm like, how am I going to fucking explain to this lady that I'm not trying to kill her while she just watched me kill somebody else? So I'm like basically saying like, you were like a Lois Lane, right? In my brain, right? I'm Superman with a Lois Lane craving. All this pressure has gotten to me. Now I'm the one who needs saving. Basically saying like, in the dream, I thought it was okay to do that, right? That's what I thought, but I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Now I need saving from this, opinion she already has on me, kind of thing. It was like a whole different thing than what a lot of people thought. It's like a very genuine song. You know what I mean? And then I had another dream. This is weird as shit. So, I had a dream that I was in like old medieval times, right? This is for Raising the Dead, because I believe that song is also on the album too. It honestly was about a dream where I was in a coffin. I remember waking up in a coffin. You know what I mean? But to fast forward past where, the little boy takes me out and then I'm in the mansion, there's like a thing he does every time. And he looks at me, he says, you can only choose one. He hands you a doorknob. Right? It's one of the old style doorknobs where if you push it through the door, right? And the doorknob on the other side is attached, it will lock into place and you can just turn the door and open it. You know what I mean? But I noticed, I tested it one time. If I put the knob into the door, I can't pull it back out. I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, this one's cool. I just want to see if I can pull it out though. You know what I mean? Because the door itself was different. Every door was different. The best way I can explain it is, how you have like the floral arrangement on like wood sometimes, like the trim and stuff in your house? It looked like that, but very, very fine detail, and the doors were made out of gold. Right? So you walk up to the door, and there's going to be a main plaque on the door, right in the middle, about yay big. And it's right right in front of your face when you walk up to the door. And it will have like a depiction on it. Like, for example, my favorite one that I made out of all the other songs that was on that album, the original album, all the ones that have the green background in YouTube. My favorite one, that the dream anyway, was Adrenaline, right? That was my favorite one, and it turned out to be the best one. And I was like, wow, that's a reference to a bear door. So I started making my stuff into more bear related things, because I was like, whoa, I really relate to the bear door apparently. And anyway, I was testing that one day. It didn't work out, but for Raising the Dead, I woke up in a coffin, right? And I remember it having a headstone saying R.I.P. on it, on the door. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, is this going to tell me my death? I was like, I hope not, because that would be fucked up. I'm like, well, let's check it out. So, I grab the doorknob and I shove it in, and I go to pull it back out, because I was like, I want to actually check out to see if I can pull this thing out of the door. Because if I don't want this door, maybe I don't want this door and I accidentally put it in. You know what I mean? There is a time where I accidentally put it in the door without even thinking about it, and I was like, ooh, I don't really even want this door, and I pulled the doorknob straight out. So I guess it was like, my brain clicked with it, and it was like, okay, you want this door. No ifs, ands, or buts, you've already locked it in. You know what I mean? You look around, you're seeing other doors that look kind of cooler. You know what I mean? But they're not as cool. You know what I mean? it makes sense in the grand scheme of things, but raising the dead was one of those.
Girl, I don't wanna be out of luck and lonely, 'cause you make me feel like we're in a movie, and you're the star, yeah, I'm your groupie. I just wanna feel you on me, baby. The thought is driving me crazy. Just one touch has me feeling amazing. I think that it's the dead that you are raising. With that magic spell, you got me mesmerized, and I'm overly hypnotized. Yeah, girl, mesmerized by the way you're moving side to side. Yeah, 'cause girl, you got me rising from the dead. Yeah, you saved me from that eternal dread, sad laying in my bed, stuck in a cage inside of my head. I wanna be right next to you, darling, 'cause this love is somewhat jarring, and I'm sure it's gonna peel up the flooring and make me feel like I'm sky high and soaring, 'cause you're beautiful and you look so youthful, and I'm the only one being truthful. Your personality is brutal. Yeah, girl, I don't wanna be out of luck and lonely, 'cause you make me feel like we're in a movie, and you're the star, yeah, I'm your groupie. I just wanna feel you on me, baby. The thought is driving me crazy. Just one touch has me feeling amazing. I think that it's the dead that you are raising. Yeah.
So for this dream, funny thing, I actually, like, it was weird because it was like a dream, obviously. But in my dream world, like perfect world, basically, I was like this whole dream starts out like this, right? I'm in a coffin, right? And I don't know where I'm at. I look at my hands and they're all like fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I kind of decayed a little bit. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like looking around and it's dark, you know what I mean? But I know I'm in a coffin because I can feel the sides and shit and I can feel the top. You know what I mean? And right as I wake up out of that shit, right? I hear a shovel, you know what I mean? Hit the top of it. Tunk! You know what I mean? And this whole time I'm hearing, you know what I mean? I'm thinking they're burying me, but it's someone digging me up. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? And, you know, the front breaks with the shovel. I'm like, you're in. You know what I mean? Like, basically saying, like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Because the shovel almost hits me. You know what I mean? I'm like, whoa, you're in it. And they're like, sorry. And it was a girl. Right? And I was like, what the who the fuck is out there? You know what I mean? Because usually in those kinds of dreams, I'll have, like, friends or family that show up. And she opens up the coffin door, right? And I don't know what it was in that dream that fucking, like, literally was like, she gonna look hot, but that bitch was fucking hot. Oh my fucking God. So, basically what she was doing is she went to grave sites to bring people back from the dead. She explains it to me in the dream, right? She's like, I'm bringing people back from the dead. I'm trying to find a certain person. I'm like, who are you trying to find? And she's like, not sure, but I'm trying to figure that out. I was like, well, what are you trying to find out? You know what I mean? Basically, like, asking her questions, like, because I'm crawling out of this grave, and I'm, like, sitting there, I'm like, give me a minute, I haven't seen the world in a minute. You know what I mean? I'm looking around, and it's like, in my dream, I remember it being, like, me coming out of that coffin, and I was like, I want to know what this world looks like that I'm in. You know what I mean? I want to know what I look like, where I'm at. When I look around, I'm in a forest. A fucking forest, dog. And I look over, and I remember having, like, vision problems in, like, my left eye or something. I was like, is there any way you can help me with my eye? I can't see that well. She's like, yeah, I can help you with that. And she like reaches up, nice, feel like heat right here. She like puts her thumb on my eye and rubs it like this. You know what I mean? And my eye comes back to normal. You know what I mean? And she just kind of looks at me and she goes, wow, you have very pretty eyes. And I was like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like just being completely, normal about it. You know what I mean? Like for some reason I feel like normal. You know what I mean? And she's like, let me help you. And she like pulls me up out of the fucking grave. You know what I mean? I look around, there's a bunch of graves dug up. You know what I mean? Like a fuck ton. I'm talking like, I'm looking down this line and there's bunches of dug graves, but all the bodies are still in them. I was like, are you looking for me? You know what I mean? Because I'm out of breath because, I had to like help her get me out. You know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, whoa, what brought you to me? She's like, I need a favor. And I was like, what kind of favor? And she's like, well, there's I'm on this journey and you used to be the waykeeper for this place. I need to know about it. And I was like, wait a minute, waykeeper. And I like close my eyes, you know what I mean? Like in the dream, I close my eyes and it's like, I remember like having like this vivid ass fucking memory of me standing at a gate. You know what I mean? And I was like, basically like keeping watch over this certain area. And obviously would travel that area all the time because I was, a guard there. You know what I mean? I knew how to go through there without setting off these, certain things or running into these certain animals and shit. And, just one touch had me feeling amazing, basically saying like I felt normal after that. You know what I mean? Like I felt normal in the brain, I felt normal in my eye. You know what I mean? And I was like, I looked over at her and I was like, what's your name? And she wouldn't tell me. She was like, I can't tell you that. And I was like, why not? She's like, I just can't. That's the rules. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why can't I? Like, what? Because usually when you ask someone their name in your dream, you will get a response no matter what. And that's what fucking throws me off about those dreams is I don't ever get the answers I want. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a story that's played out and I'm in like basically a video game in these dreams. I get to choose what I do and there's no consequence, really. But I make every decision that happens. It's not like I just like don't have any kind of, leeway in the whole situation. It's not a set story. I can veer it off one way or the other, depending on my preference. You know what I mean? Off of my demeanor at the time. So, there's a part in that dream where obviously I'm standing outside of the thing and I'm like bent over on my knees. And I notice that, my whole rest of my body's still like kind of decayed and, all that shit. And that's why I'm like able to barely walk and shit. I was like, well, if you need help, you're going to need to revitalize me. Like, I need to be, tip-top shape. And she goes, well, yes, of course, but only if you agree to take me. I was like, of course I will. It's like, I used to be the waykeeper here. It's like, I know this valley inside and out. I can take you in and out of it and travel to the closest kingdom. I know exactly where to go. I will take you. You know what I mean? I was just being a humble man. You know what I mean? You brought me back from the dead. I owe you service. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Because in that moment, I was like, damn, you brought me back from the dead just to fucking get you through this place? Hell yeah. You chose me out of everybody else here, buried here. You chose me. Hell yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? So she's like, all right. She goes, stand still and close your eyes. She goes, because it's going to be bright. I was like, okay. And I remember closing my eyes and seeing purple lights, like intense purple lights right outside my eyes. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then the lights disappear and she goes, you should be back to normal now. Tell me how you feel. You know what I mean? And I fucking kind of dropped to the floor for a second because I'm like, in a new body, technically. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm in a new body. I'm like, whoa, I feel way more fucking jacked. You know what I mean? So I look down and my arms are fucking huge. You know what I mean? I'm looking like a fucking, literally like a built motherfucker. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, this is fucking crazy. And I remember I'm like in these robes, right, from my gravesite. They're all tattered and shit. She goes, let me fix that outfit. And goes like this. Just flicks her finger like this. And it's like a wind comes along, just whew, like changes my outfit into fucking literally like armor and shit. I'm like, whoa, okay. She goes, one moment, please. And she like fucking takes like her staff thing that she has, because she has like this staff with a little cross on the end of it. I remember that because I remember seeing the cross with pearls in it, and that's why I knew I wanted to help her, right? So anyway, we start off on this journey, right? And I'm just basically like, in my head, I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? Hopefully at the end of this, I at least get a kiss. You know what I mean? So I was like, this would be crazy as a story. You know what I mean? Just a story. You know? So I made it into a song. You know what I mean? Raising the Dead. And it's like, I thought you were just, you know, raising a undead army, but you wanted me out of anybody. You know what I mean? Because I'm the Waykeeper. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But we are traveling through this forest, and I remember we run across like some kind of mystical animals and shit. And I was like, do you need food? And she's like, well, not really. I can make food appear. I was like, oh, well, I'm hungry. You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, no problem. And she just like, she opens up this bag. It's like a bag like, I don't know, the size of like a fucking ordinary like purse. You know what I mean? And reaches her whole arm in it. So it's like a bag of holding, basically. Grabs out food in this container and hands it to me. Goes, here. She goes, this should be from your time as well. She goes, I you know, have a purse of holding, and it can go in, you know, in between time, and I can pull things out of it. And I look at the box, and it's like a Chinese takeout box. You know what I mean? Like the little styrofoam box you get from Chinese places. And I was like, what the fuck? And I open it up, and it's like ramen and shit in there. Not like ramen, but what am I saying? Fucking stir-fry noodles, you know what I mean? Shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I start eating it. And she's like, what is that stuff called, by the way? I was like, this? I was like, well, this is chow mein. That's what it was, chow mein. And I pointed at the, you know, the fried rice. I was like, that's pork fried rice. And that is, and I looked at the fucking main shit, and I was like, that is egg rolls. She goes, I've never had those before. That's kind of strange. She goes, I think of another person, and I pull that stuff out of my bag to hand it to them. Usually I think of, she's like, I usually think of the people around me, and I pull out my period of food most of the time. I've never seen something like that. And I was like, well, this is, you know, like, this is food. Like, this is good stuff. Do you want to try it? I remember handing her a piece of it. And somebody trying to call me on some game stuff. I'm not really into that right now. But I hand her a piece of egg roll, and she's like, how do I eat this? I was like, well, usually you dunk it in that stuff. I pointed at, you know, the soy sauce. It's like, you get a little bit of that on there, and then you take a bite. She's like, just out of the whole thing? It's like, yeah, it's an egg roll. I was like, you eat the whole thing. She's like, oh, okay. So she like dunks it in the fucking soy sauce and takes a bite, and you could see it in her face like, oh my god, this is good. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, this is my time era of food. You know what I mean? This is what it was like. She's like, wow, this is actually good. She's like, never had this before. I was like, are you serious? You never had this before? And she goes, well, look around you. And I looked around, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I was buried. Like I had a previous premonition. You know what I mean? It was weird. I was like, I was buried in Washington State. And I was like, in the middle of town. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, where is the buildings? And I look over and I notice that there's no buildings, but there's still streets, like asphalt streets. I was like, wait a minute. I look over, and the Chinese place that I was thinking about was right there. And I literally like look over, I'm like, no fucking way. Because it was like, you know, it's not like the buildings were like completely gone. You could see like parts of them here and there. You know what I mean? Like it looked like there was just ruins everywhere, basically. But they were like this era of buildings. It was like an apocalypse era. You know what I mean? But I remember, like, for a exact fact, you know what I mean? That there were, like, mystical animals and shit. You know what I mean? There were, like, shit like that towards the end of my lifetime after the drop of man. You know what I mean? And there were still buildings. You know what I mean? And I used to walk through and, like, protect people from these animals. And there was, like, a whole, like, dedicated ceremony every year where people would go down the streets of that town and, like, say, like, this is to blah, blah. You know what I mean? My name at the time. I don't know what my name was in any one of these songs. I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm assuming it's just my normal name. You know what I mean? I don't really know who I was. You know what I mean? There's like a weird thing when it came to that kind of stuff. It was like, I knew who I was, so I don't think anybody else needed to, you know? Because obviously there's a touch of me in every dream I have. You know what I mean? But I remember looking at it and I was like, that's the Chinese place. So that's the airport over there. And I was like thinking in my head, I was like, what year is this? I look over, I was like, what year is this? And she goes, what's a year? I was like, oh my God. I was like, are you kidding me? These people don't even know what a fucking year is anymore. I was like, how many solstices have there been? How many winter solstices? She's like, well, there's been, I don't know. She goes, from when I was alive, she goes, I was born, and she says so many solstices, you know what I mean, ago. How many winter solstices? And I was like, whoa, you're old. Like, not like old, but you're like in your 20s. I was like, I died in my 30s, in my dreams, you know what I mean? I died in my 30s. And I was like, So if I died in my 30s and you are like 27, 28, you know what I mean? And you don't remember there being buildings here because I told you. I remember telling her, like, hey, did you ever see buildings around here? She's like, what are buildings? I was like, oh my God. She's like, she points at the ground. She goes, these are pathways that my people have used for ages. I just don't know where they came from, none of that. I was like, they came from my tribe. She's like, what? I was like, my tribe, my era. We put these roads in. And she's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? And I was like, I used to see the buildings that were around this area. I was alive when they were still up. And she literally, like, it's like a culture shock for her because she's like, I've never even known what a building is. And I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, I was like, wait a minute. And I like reach in my pocket because like she's like, all your belongings should still be on you. I remember that when she said that. She goes, she changed my outfit and she goes, all your belongings should still be on you and in the places that you have them. And I remember for some reason when they buried you in that era, they would bury everything that you own with you. You know what I mean? And for me, it was a cell phone that I could still take pictures and shit with. Right? And so, you know, obviously the battery had been taken out and all that shit. And I was like, I need to find an old place where there's buildings. So I looked at her, I said, is there any ancient structures around here? She goes, yeah, there's one. You want me to take you there? I was like, yeah, please. You know what I mean? I had a phone charger on me and she didn't even know what the fuck that was. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy shit. So, you know, I go to this fucking old place that they say is a old ancient ruin. You know what it is? You would never guess what it is. Literally would never guess. It's an old cell phone factory. Right? So I'm like, okay, this kind of lines up. It's kind of weird, but it lines up. And I was like, well, I need to go in there and I need to find a certain battery for this phone. And I like pointed at it and she's like, what is that? She's like, is that an ancient magic device? I was like, kinda, yeah. I was like, you could take pictures with it. You could take like, if you want to take like, if you saw something you liked a lot, you could take this thing we call a picture. I want to show you buildings, what they used to be. You know what I mean? I start like showing her shit. And she's inquisitive, like, what did you guys do with these? Like, what were these? Like, these are places you could walk around and go and buy things from with money, which was the thing that was around when I was alive. I mean, I witnessed the apocalypse happen. I mean, that's why I was the waykeeper for a while. I was the first waykeeper. You know what I mean? This is all shit that I remember from, you know what I mean, like just different shit in my dream, like bringing back memories. She's bringing back memories for me, and I'm like, whoa, this is weird. So, anyway, the creatures, I remember them being like kind of like almost alien looking. You know what I mean? They were like big head, small bodies, kind of like they're bipedal. You know what I mean? But they could shape shift into different shit, and they'd shift into your worst nightmares. You know what I mean? And it turns out that my worst nightmares are just my dead family members. So whenever they come across me, they basically get killed. So I was the first waykeeper. I'd literally walk a little bit ahead, and you'd see dead alien bodies. So everybody thought, "Damn, this dude's killing all these things." No, it was just, you know, like my biggest fear was seeing my family dead. So they basically would have to kill themselves to show me what my biggest fear was. You know what I mean? And that was my biggest fear. And I was like, literally, at some points, I was like walking ahead of her, and I was looking over, and I was seeing her body. I was like, whoa, this is weird. You know what I mean? I kept walking, and I'd see another one of her. You know what I mean? Like, there'd be a few of my family members in between, and then there'd be one of her. And so I literally, like, I walked back. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, all the creatures in this area are gone. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I killed them all. She goes, with what? I said, I don't need anything to kill them. Just my brain. She's like, how do you kill them with your brain? Are you some sort of like mega human? It's like, no, just my biggest fear is what they turn into, and just seeing people that I love dead. She's like, whoa, that's weird. I was like, yeah, so they basically just die right there. They die. And they show basically what they would look like if they were my family member. And she basically has like this thought in her head. She's like, whoa. Like, as another person kind of thought, she's like, I would hate to see that. You know what I mean? She's like thinking on it. She goes, my dad and my tribe, that would suck. I was like, yeah, and that's my worst fear. So I get to deal with that every time I bring someone through this pass. You know what I mean? It was like a weird ass thing that like kind of shifted the you know, the narrative. And I was like, the weird thing is, I saw you in that pile sometimes. And she's like, what? I was like, I saw you in that pile sometimes. I was like, I don't know why, but I do. We just kept walking. You know what I mean? And after a while, there are certain other creatures that don't turn into something like that. They are what they are, and they stay that way. And we call them defiled ones, which they're just aliens that don't care. They're just trying to kill you. You know what I mean? They come up on you and they try and kill you, like a gun or something similar. So obviously he jumps out, like what I'm assuming was the tree, jumps out of the tree and tries to ambush us. He attacks her first, right? And I was like, you shithead. And I remember, like, for some reason, I shoot my arm forward like this, and fire comes out of it. You know what I mean? Like, throws like a fireball at it. And I was like, whoa, what the shit? And it, like, blows him off of her. And, like, he lands over on the ground, and he just got a hole through his side, and he's just dead. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the shit? And she goes, that's your power. You just found it. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, the air is so full of magical power around here that people gain their own abilities here. A lot. It's weird. And I was like, what the hell? She goes, well, congratulations. You now have a power. And I was like, does it grant itself to everyone? She goes, no, just the people they choose. I was like, who chooses? She goes, those people. And she points up, and there's people looking down at us through, like, it looks like a glass. And I was like, what the fuck? And they don't really look like people. They look like aliens. You know what I mean? And I was like, so they gave this to me. She's like, yeah, I think they want you to be the hero. And I looked up and I said, a hero, all right. It was like people looking down at other people like they're fucking rats. Okay, I see how this works. So I got pissed off. I remember getting pissed. And I basically, I don't know what it is. I like go like basically like Super Saiyan almost. Like fucking, like literally like, what's his name? The flame guy for Fantastic Four. I can't remember his name. I literally go like that crazy. You know what I mean? I fly up and I hit the glass. Boom! And the whole thing shatters, right? But there's a secondary layer of glass that's like this thick that they're standing on. You know what I mean? Because there's two different layers of glass. One that holds like the dome of the sky up, and they can open it up once in a while to check on people and to choose people. She says that they show up when they choose people, right? So I, obviously fly up and I fucking break the glass, and I hit the other glass and it cracks it, and you can see them like jump back like they're scared. You know what I mean? And I remember pushing my hand up against the glass, and I was like, I know you can hear me, motherfucker, even though this glass is thick as fuck. And I pointed at one of them because I could see that he was like the head guy in charge. He was the bigger one. And he had the display thing in his hand that I could see. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm coming through this glass one day and I'm fucking killing you. And he talks and I can hear him through the glass. He goes, why would you want to kill me? I said, because you're keeping my people in here like rats. And I remember for some reason she like flies up next to me and she goes, how did you break that? And I was like, I was mad enough to break it. And I looked up at him and I was like, and he better watch out because I'll break this whole motherfucker and turn off this whole charade. And he basically opens up that glass and he goes, come in here. And I come up inside there and it's humans. They're all humans. You know what I mean? Every one of them are actually humans. Because I was like, who are you people? He goes, we're humans. Don't worry. He's like, these people down below are people that we obviously have been watching over. He's like, these people down here are lesser humans. We are a human race from a different planet. He's like, what do you mean? This is weird. You know what I mean? He goes, don't worry. We're here to help these people. We're not here to fucking harm them. He goes, the animals and things here are very dangerous and we want them to eradicate them. We've been choosing people that have high moral standings, you know what I mean, like in their soul, you know what I mean, to actually go in there and defeat these things, because we want someone that's obviously more heroic in mindset than a person that is terrible to other people, you know what I mean. And so they basically said, we chose you for a reason. You were very, very straight and narrow. They're like, we chose her because she was compassionate about other people. We gave her the ability to heal people. And she just harnessed it so hard one day that she wanted to venture through this valley, that we brought you back to life. Right? It brought you back to life and you came up out of the grave and we watched her resurrect you. We're like, wow, that's cool. She wanted to get through here badly. You know what I mean? So we start going through this whole thing, right? There's like this whole dream plays out, and as I'm saying, making the decisions for myself. It's not like a dream that like plays out for you. It's a dream that starts, you know what I mean, with a whole narrative, right? But I get to choose what I say and what happens basically from my decisions. It's not always like, oh yeah, there's like a set path, you know what I mean, that this dream is going to take, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? It's always me thinking, you know what I mean, being like, okay. And I look down and I see all these fucking monsters. I was like, so if I kill all these monsters, will you help my people? And he goes, yeah, that's why I chose you. And I was like, okay. I was like, then one thing I want you to do is be transparent with all these people and turn off the fucking skybox and let people see what's going on above them. Because I can look around and I can see all these people walk around on this flat floor with like pillars. They're, you know, I can see them at a distance. There's pillars. And what's happening is they're harnessing sun power to charge this dome that they have around the whole earth, basically. And I'm like, you also need to let these people have light because it's very dark down there. Even though you have this artificial sky, it's like it's very dark and they can't see. It was like we had to light our way with torches at some points because there's dense forest. He's like, that can be arranged. I said, all right, well, I was like, I also want one other thing. If you have advanced weaponry, I want it right now. He goes, well, we do have some advanced weaponry, but your powers are way more powerful than this advanced weaponry. I was like, I just want armor. That's all I need. I was like, and something that's going to protect me from what's out there. Because I want to punch the fuck out of these things. I don't want to stand there and shoot them from a distance. I'm about to rip some people's throats out. These monsters are going bye-bye, so my people can be free. So I literally remember, he's like, so we have advanced technology. Stand still. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. And he reaches out and he places this little thing on my chest. And he goes, don't worry. This is to keep the nanites in place. And he presses a button and the nanites shoot out of it. Right? And they just basically make this like tough ass armor over my skin. You know what I mean? Like I could wear whatever I wanted over top of it. It was fucking sick. It literally went up to my hands right here and it cut off. Right? And I was like, why aren't my hands covered? He goes, well, the power to your elemental power or whatever you have is so strong it would melt it. I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, you know, obviously this dream plays out where I'm talking to her because she's in there with me and she's like in awe. She's like looking around like, what the fuck is all this shit? But I'm looking around and I can see stuff that I could recognize. You know what I mean? Like, that's a computer, just very far technologically advanced. I was like, that guy's using a cell phone that looks like it's really advanced. This guy has on what I assume would be like a very, very advanced version of like sneakers and, you know, shorts and a tank top. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? This is absolutely nuts. So I'm like, basically walking around this area up there and it's like a whole nother earth. He's like, the only thing that I kind of envy about you guys have actual dirt. I'm like, what? He goes, you guys have actual dirt. He goes, we don't. Because we have artificial dirt. He goes, it's not the same. He's like, it doesn't smell the same. It's like something about earth dirt just smells good. You know, like he like reaches out and I remember he's smelling me. He goes, you smell like earth. And I was like, it's weird, okay. He goes, we've been here a few times. He goes, way, way back. He goes, back when you were alive, actually. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. We were here for about 3 or 4 months, and we used a rift to get here. And the rift tore open a space-time continuum that we finally stitched shut. And we just made this dome not too long ago. He goes, we've been just kind of observing you guys and giving some of you powers and some of you leaving to the wind. You know what I mean? The people that are left. Because the people that came here and tried to destroy you all came from a separate rift that was a chain reaction of our rift breaking. And he goes, and we're sorry for that. We were trying to get here as fast as we could to help you guys out as a civilization, and we kind of caused your downfall. And I remember like a vision dream kind of coming through in my dream of that world that I'm in, where I remember seeing the sky just fucking like look like an aurora everywhere. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then just shit starts lining out of the sky. Like shit starts flying through these holes in the sky, basically, and hitting the ground in certain areas. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? And then, you know, these weird monsters come out of them, and there's like people with guns coming out of some of them and shooting people. And I was like, whoa. And I like kind of fucking had like this weird headache thing afterwards. And I was like trying to get rid of it. And he goes, you okay? I was like, yeah, I had a memory come back. And he goes, who are you? And I was like, I'm the first wayfinder of the Northern. I was like, Northwestern. And I was like, I don't know my name. I remember like not remembering my name for a minute in my dream. He goes, come on, you gotta remember it. He goes, what was on your gravestone? She goes, you didn't have one. And I was like, yeah, I did. I was like, yes, I did. I remember people carving it for me because it was a gesture. And I was like, you know, like it was like a weird dream where it's like flashes. You know what I mean? I remember it saying like something like Johannes or some shit like that. And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, you can call me John. He goes, John. Okay. And he goes, let's go ahead and get you guys suited up. He's like, we'll get you something too. And she goes, I don't know, I don't trust your space stuff. You know what I mean? She was like, now that I know what you are, like, this is weird. I don't know if I can trust you. And I looked at her and I said, you can trust these people. I was like, if I was going to die, I'd die already. I was like, I would much rather you wear one of these. You know what I mean? One of these suits. These big suits. Because they had like a big ass, like, almost like a mech armor kind of thing. You know what I mean? But obviously the monsters that are down there are, you know, like a lot tougher than the people that came from this other Earth. I was a lot taller than them. I remember that. I was looking down at them to talk to them. I mean, that's why I've been looking down most of this time, because I remember the dream as I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm obviously like at least 2 or 3 feet taller than these people. It's fucking insane. So I'm like, all right. So, or not 2 or 3 feet. I'd say like 1.5 feet, 2 feet. You know, not super taller, but a good amount taller. And I remember the guy in front of me going, okay. And I was like, I've heard that okay before. And he goes, you have? And I said, yeah. I was like, did you make a broadcast? Like, at some point? And he goes, when? And I was like, while I was dead. And I look at him like in his eyes. And he goes, well, I've been, you know, captain of the ship since we've landed here. He goes, I'm basically as old as you've been in the dirt, most likely. And I was like, okay. Like, he said first generation. So I was basically saying, like, or not first generation, first son of the first generation. I was like, so you were alive when I was in the dirt? He goes, yes. I was like, okay. So I was like thinking about shit, you know what I mean? I'm putting shit together. And I was like, so if you knew I was in the dirt and you had the power to do this to people, why didn't you bring me back? He goes, because we thought you weren't useful. But we found out you're pretty useful. He's like, you have a lot of resentment for the things that came and took your life away, so we're kind of playing on that, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, at least you're honest. He goes, always will be. And I was like, okay. So I look down, and I see this whole, like, area of the ground, because, you know, obviously I'd broken this fucking big-ass window pane, basically, out that's supposed to be projecting the sky onto it. And I look down, and I see, like, 2 or 3 people, and they're all, like, standing around, and they're looking up at us. It's like, who are those people? She goes, those are my friends. They were supposed to catch up with me a long time ago, but they never did. I thought they were dead. And the people up in the fucking thing goes, don't worry, we kept them alive. I was like, how'd you do that? I'm like, we have ways of keeping the monsters away from people. And we wanted to test to see what your biggest fear was. And he looks at me and he goes, I've never seen somebody with such a deep fear of something that's so relatable. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, this is a whole dream sequence. Like, I literally had like a whole life in a different dream, in a dream world. All the songs that you hear are basically like, I thought the dream was cool, and I thought this certain idea for the dream being a song would be cool. You know what I mean? But there's like, obviously I go and I start destroying all these monsters, and I find out that they're actually being replicated by this big ass replicator machine. And so I break the machine and I fucking grab this crystal, right? And I fucking crush it. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be like a what I would assume would be like the computer brain that keeps on duplicating these things. And I fucking break it in my hand like this. And I remember it like when I crush it in my hands, I remember me like burning it to cinders at the same time because I was so pissed off. But I remember going like Super Saiyan mode again, you know what I mean, at some point. And it was when I see like a bunch of these things and they jump, right? And she's right behind me, so I push her, boom, right? And it's like she flew, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I need to help her. So I go like this, right? And it's like wind came up underneath her and just sat her down. I remember seeing it going, whew, like that, and it was like sat her on the ground on her butt. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, that was crazy. And I reached forward like this, and I fucking just I don't know what it was in my brain, but I was like on this whole fucking just like fuck this shit arc of my dream. And so I go like this, I go, and like it was like almost like my fucking, like my physical being wanted there to be a large ass sword that I fucking swiped through the crowd of fucking, you know, these weird creatures. And so like I swing like this, boom, like this, and I see this fucking flame. Like, I'm not even shitting you, it's like a football field long. And I came from right here, so you know that thing was way the fuck back there. And when I brought it through like this, it was cutting through the trees. You know what I mean? There was that much detail in this dream. So I remember cutting through every single one of them. And she stands up and goes, how the fuck did you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I remember like passing out for a small amount of time. And I woke back up and she's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And so I stand up and I remember my hands hurting. I was like, fuck. And I look down like this and my hands are fucking bleeding and they're all fucking charred up and shit from me fucking bringing out that big ass sword and, you know, going crazy. She goes, here. And she like waves her hand over my hands and they just heal. Back to normal. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So I walk into this little fucking, like, it looks like a meteor kind of, but it has a big ass door on it. So I'm like, this has to be something. So I walk in there and it says on this screen inside, it says, duplicators online, one of 9,622 or some shit like that. It was like 9,000 something. And I was like, what the fuck? This is the last one online. If I break this one, then it's done. It's over. And so I reach over and I grab this crystal. And I remember at the same time of grabbing it like this and squeezing it in my hand, it just starts turning to ash, right? I'm like, you know what I mean? Just, like a huge ass flame comes out and I fucking crush it. You know what I mean? I grab, like I take the little bit that's left packed in my fist and I slam down on this like table. It looks like a little control table. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, you would press keys or whatever in the air or whatever the fuck, however the fuck it worked. And I slam my fist through and it breaks the whole machine and it starts like, you know, malfunctioning and everything just turns off. You know what I mean? I look at her and I was like, it's done. She's like, what's done? I was like, we won. She's like, what do you mean we won? It's like, as soon as all these things are eradicated off this earth, we can go back to normal. And I was like, she's like, what do you mean? Like, all the creatures? And I was like, yeah. They're all going to be gone. It's like every one of them. And I found out from the people in the sky that the ones that, you know, turn into your biggest fears are actually mutated versions of the ones that just run after you. So they're not even really like the ones that run after you are the originals. Those are the originals. Those are the ones that came here and started slaughtering people. And then the other ones that turn into your biggest fears came along later on. He's like, you were there for it, you just don't remember it. He's like, you remember that all of them used to just kill. And none of them turned into your fears. He goes, after a while, they started using that kind of mentality to try and scare you to death while they were running after you, basically. But it was fucking insane. Like, the amount of crazy detail in that dream was something I couldn't shake. And it was like, almost like I had like, I don't even know how to explain that. It was almost like I had like this whole dream based off of the idea that I was dead, but brought back to life by this certain lady and was like a warrior basically that helped the earth come back to life, which was like a cool ass thing. You know what I mean? But I know that the beginning part of the dream was the more important part. You know what I mean? It wasn't the whole arc of me killing shit. It was the beginning of it. It was basically telling me the shit that you're seeing now is not going to be here forever. So no matter if you live forever or not, you're going to see change everywhere. You know what I mean? It was like a big wake-up moment for me. I was like, whoa. So the shit that I see on a daily basis won't even be here. This shit is just temporary. Like, it was like a weird-ass, like, mind trip. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa. That is crazy. Like, when I wrote down my dream, when I thought about it, I was like, wow. It's like, it's almost like basically saying nothing lasts forever and cherish the stuff that you have because you never know when it's going to be gone. So it's like, wow, that is insane. Like things you take for granted every day and you're like, whoa. Like in this world, it used to be like this, but now it's not. And I kind of miss it. You know what I mean? But back to the whole story of us finding the cell phone factory. When I get there, I put the battery into the phone, right? And, you know, I show her pictures of the old world. And I was like, this is what it used to look like. And I like start scrolling through pictures of like different places with me and my friends. I was like, this is me and my friends at the theater. It used to be right over there. And I pointed down the road, and the only thing that was left was a little bitty corner sticking up out of the ground. I was like, that's where the theater used to be. It's like, I can show you where all the stuff is around here. And she was like, wow, that's actually crazy. Because, like, you know, obviously you can just find a phone battery laying around. You know what I mean? Whether it be charged or not is very questionable, but I digress. Whether it be even usable would be even more of a question at that point, but in my dream it was useful. You know what I mean? So I didn't have much charge on it. It was just enough to show her, like, you know, the buildings and shit, and then the phone just went fritz. You know what I mean? Like, it started, like, doing a bunch of crazy shit, so I just threw it. It's like, well, it's not useful to me anymore. And I just kind of, like, looked around. And I remember thinking in my brain, I was like, I wonder if these phones work. So I started, like, taking pictures of different shit to remember it. She's like, that thing's actually handy. Like, you find a certain thing you want to see again, and you just open up that little thing and it shows it to you. I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I was like, honestly. And I was like showing her like different shit on a phone that you can do. And, you know, like internet still worked and shit, like satellite internet. And I was like, wait a minute, I wonder if these cards would still work on the internet. You know what I mean? To show her like what the internet was. And so I went to try it, and, you know, obviously it didn't work. And I was like, well, that was a fucking shitbot idea. I was like, I gotta think, this has been millions of years at this point. There's no fucking satellites in the sky. You know, like, you think about it logically, and you're like, I mean, if we were thinking about it, that wouldn't work anyway. You know what I mean? Like, the internet wouldn't work at all. You know? And I was like, this is actually kind of cool. You know what I mean? I was like, there's no way that this is actually fucking... Like, this is actually crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like the dream knows that that wouldn't be the case, and it plays it out like it wouldn't be the case. It is a strange world when you have dreams that are what people call vivid dreams, aka dreams that you believe 100% are real at the time, because you get to choose what's happening. But I have a lot of those, and yeah, I write songs about them a lot. It's kind of a theme I have going on with my shit. But for example, coolest fucking dream I've had about those kind of dreams, which was an actual Golden Door dream. They still happen here once in a while. I'm not even shitting when I say this. The song Top Floor, this song right here, was made out of one of those dreams. So in this dream, I'm sitting there, I'm at the party, right? I'm like, whoa, this is sick. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, like partying with all these people, they're drinking like Bacardi and shit. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Then people break in and they start shooting people. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And then I see someone pull out a pistol and shoot one of them, so I bust through that hole that person has made, and I get out the door. But this is explaining like the first part, like the party itself. I didn't know where we were at, but I made it up. Everybody sparked up like a Jargo. Here, take a joint for the inside self. Wearing garments, started mowing people down like targets. One motherfucker had something in their pockets. All I hear is a 9-0 bang, so I'm out the door, got the Rari next door, the Bacardi I remember grabbing a bottle out when I was like running by too. I grabbed a bottle because I thought I was gonna need to hit somebody, and I was like, I remember running out the door and I still had it in my hand. I was like, fuck it, I got whiskey. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck Bacardi is, because I remember it being Bacardi, and I don't remember why. I think it was because we had bought something, Bacardi or some shit, the day before, and that's the only alcohol I could think of or something. But I remember getting to the car, and I had my friends with me, and it wasn't a fucking Ferrari. It was like something that had 4 seats at least, because there was 2 seats in the back and there was 1 seat in the front. But I remember it like we were fucking whipping that shit. And I remember my friends actually got out with me, and I was like, is everybody here? And they're like, yeah, we're all here. And I was like, yo, that was nuts. Who the fuck was that? And they're like, I don't know, let's get the fuck out of here. And so, I punch the car and I fucking go sideways out of the parking lot. You know what I mean? I'm fucking taking off. And I was like, is there anybody following us? They're like, no. I was like, you sure? And they're like, I look in my rear view and they're looking out the back window. They're like, no, there's no one following us. I was like, holy shit, man. Holy shit. I was like, fuck it, dude. We're going to do some crazy shit tonight because I want to forget this shit. So, we obviously start doing some crazy shit on the road, just like doing like crazy fucking like Initial D type shit. And so I fucking stop at this red light, and this guy's like, hey, he's like, like they say, you gotta smoke them if you got them. And I was sitting at the red light, and I looked around, and I remember there being no cars, and I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. And I pull out in the middle of the fucking intersection. I start spinning in a circle, and I was like, yeah, how you like that, boy? He's like, fuck yeah. I could hear him outside the car, just barely over the car engine. He's like, fuck yeah. And I remember dumping the clutch in like 4th and spinning out like this, and then like straightening it back out. My friends are in their car like, fuck yeah, dude, this is awesome. And we fucking, we're driving around, the whole thing ends, and I get back to like some area. I remember getting up out of the car, shutting the door, and then my friends hopping out. I'm like, damn, that shit was crazy. And then I woke up. But it was a pretty cool time. But I'm gonna get off here. I'm getting tired, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm getting tired. So I'll